All right, so in video one, we talked about getting our VS Code set up and getting Node.js installed. Now that we've done that, we are ready to go ahead and install Expo CLI. Essentially what Expo does is it allows us to write our code for React Native, and then when we run our app, we are given a QR code that we can then scan and have the app appear on any device, which is awesome. So for starters, we need to open up a command line window. So if we are in VS Code, remember that this overflow menu up here, the three dots, that's just where everything goes if it doesn't fit. We're going to go and open up a new terminal. And then from here, we need to run this command. So I'm just going to copy this and paste. And the I stands for install, the -G means globally, and then Expo CLI is what I am installing. So basically I am making it so that I'm able to use command lines regarding Expo code. All right, I'm going to pause this while it runs. Okay, as you can see, there are a lot of warnings. This is normal, nothing to worry about here. And I can see that I am all done. Now, after I have run my command line to install Expo, now I can go ahead and I can create a project. Now, just like with Android Studio first semester, we want to make sure that we are making our project in the folder where it should go. And a little bit ago, we created a repository that we're going to put all of these smaller projects in called, for me, I named mine React Native Small Apps. So what I need to do is I need to navigate into that folder. Now, right now, if I were to do ls in the command line, that's going to list all of the items that I have in my current folder. And for my current directory, that's the current folder that I'm in, I am in the users directory for Estena. So I can see all of my different folders here. And I happen to know that my GitHub folder is inside of documents. Now, if you're not sure where that is located, you can open up your file folder. And if we were to browse to where I happen to have my GitHub folder, if you click up here on this, like next to the file path, you can actually see the exact file path. And so you can copy that and then come back over here. And you could just say CD, which means change directory, and you can type the whole path name with just copy paste. And then now that takes me directly there. Now, if I were to do ls again, that's going to list the contents of what is inside this directory. Since I want to go inside this folder, I am going to say cd and then React Native Small Apps, and now I'm inside of that folder. And if I do ls again, I will just see the two files for my git attributes and my git ignore. So nothing else is in this folder, and that matches what I see when I go inside of it. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make my project. So in Android Studio, when we wanted to make a new project, we would do File, New Project. Well, in React Native, we are going to use Expo to help us create this project. So the file path that we're going to use is right here. So we're going to copy that and paste, and then we have to give it a name. I'm just going to call this First App and then hit enter. Now, after I do that, just like before, I'm going to see some different things happen, and you'll notice that it is creating it with the default template. We are being told that there are other templates that I could use if I wanted to. You'll also notice right here where it says npm install. What that is doing is that is installing all of the most current libraries that the project depends upon. And again, all of these warnings about things that are deprecated. This is common. You will get used to seeing all of that. Okay, so now that we have finished, we see a couple different commands here. So for starters, it's telling us that if we want to run the project, we have to navigate into the directory. And basically what that means is that if I were to try to run the project right now, I am not in the right space. The commands wouldn't make sense because I'm currently not inside a folder that has files that can be ran. I need to be inside this folder First App. Now, you can cd into it if you would like. What I actually prefer doing is closing out my terminal window. And then what I do is I say File, and then I open the folder. And I like to do this because I like to have all of my files for my app visible on the side. And I'm going to click on opening the folder for my project and then select folder. And then now what you'll see over here on the left-hand side is you'll see all the files that were created for me. Now, you'll notice that there are a lot of files. There are different folders that are set up for us. There's a README, assets, and this should remind you of what we saw in Android Studio, where there was a whole bunch of code that was created for us to get started. Okay, so now that we've made our folder, we've made our project, we have it open. Now we're going to open up another terminal. And now this is where we will run our code. Notice that we are inside the first app folder. Okay, so there are several different ways that we can run our code. For starters, Expo uses the Wi-Fi network of the computer and the device that you're running it on, so your cell phone, your tablet, whatever, to make a connection. If both of those devices are on the same Wi-Fi network, okay, then you can just go ahead and type npm start. You will get a QR code and then the app will build and run on your phone. However, if you're not on the same Wi-Fi network, this might happen maybe because your phone is not on Wi-Fi, or maybe you're at school and you're using our desktop computers that use Ethernet connection. Whatever it may be, you can't run the connection the same way. So instead, we're going to do something called tunneling. And what tunneling does is this gives us another way to connect the device with the computer. All right, so we're going to copy this command, and in my terminal window, I'm going to paste that command and let that run. And you'll see on the notes sheet, I said that we have to run this once per project per computer. Basically what we're doing is we're installing a library that I can use with this app. However, each time I install that, it is not code specific, it is computer specific. So if I were to do this at school just now, and then I go home, I would need to do it again at home. But then I don't have to do it every time I run it. I just have to do it once per app per computer. And now that I've done that, I can go ahead and I can run this command. And what that will do is that will open up and launch a QR code that I can scan with my device. And as I mentioned before, in order to scan it with your device, you need to have the Expo Go app on your phone. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to scan this, and while you can't see my phone through the video, I am able to build the app on my phone, and I will include a photo of that. As you can see in this image here, I have my phone up against my monitor screen. And what we see right here is the default sample app that you get when you build a project with Expo. And we'll talk more about this in class, but this is what you'll see to begin with. All right, so when you're ready to stop running your app, you just do Control-C, and then that will end the server. Now, another way you can run your project is you can run it in Android. So if I just type npm start, that's going to launch this running, okay? Now again, this will also give me a QR code. However, this QR code won't work unless I'm on the same Wi-Fi network. However, I can use this QR code to be able to deploy this on my Android emulator. And right here, I have my Android emulator already open. I have found that if you open your emulator first, it makes it a little bit faster. All right, so now if I just press A, it's going to go ahead and open this on Android. And you'll notice the first thing that it's doing is it's saying that it's installing Expo Go on my Pixel. And that's because the emulator also has to have that app in order for it to work. I'm going to pause the video. Okay, and now you will see on the emulator the same thing that you might have been seeing on your phone. It is going ahead and building the app, and we can see everything has gone ahead and finished. And we can see the same notes here that we have this developer menu. We can see, my emulator is giant, sorry, it's so big. We can see this explore menu, and what this does is this gives you some example code to see how different things look within your app. All right, now it does tell us that when you are all done and you're done looking at this starter code, that you can run this command npm run reset -project. And what that's going to do is that's going to move things around for you. So let me show you how that will look. I'm going to come back over here. I'm going to Control C to stop the server. And then I'm going to say npm run reset project. I think that was the command. npm run reset project. Yep. Okay, and then when I hit enter, I will see that my files have moved around and all of the code that used to be there is inside this app example folder so that it is separate from my actual app folder. And the app folder is like the main contents of your app. And we can see here where everything was moved, and then we are basically told that, hey, if you don't want this anymore, you can just click on this folder and you can delete it. All right, that is it for today.